Hey, thanks for joining me for the Rundown with Ramon. My name is Ramon Ray, publisher of zoneofgenius.com, and we have an amazing interview today with Jeff, as I look to my left, Hardison, and we'll see if I'm pronouncing that right. Jeff Hardison of Calendly. Jeff, how are you today, and did I pronounce the last name right or wrong?
I'm doing great. It is Hardison. You got it right, Ramon. Thank you.
Good. Very nice. Well, thanks for being here today. I really appreciate it. I think you're in the northwest of the world. I'm in the East Coast, as I say, in the vacation capital of the world, not New York City, New Jersey. So I'm glad you're here today. Jeff, tell us a little bit about yourself personally. Before you do that, repeat your full name for us and your title at Calendly, and then let's
Sure.
go back just a few years to understand about you as a person, and then we'll dive into really all things Calendly. But just give us your full name and title at Calendly, please.
Yeah. So, name is Jeff Hardison, and I'm head of product marketing at Calendly. And
Awesome.
I actually grew up in Louisville, Kentucky.
Okay.
Went to high school. This is a fun fact. With the person who wrote the song "Lollipop" by Lil Wayne.
Okay.
Yep. That's about as our only fun fact we got for that high school. And then moved out to the West Coast to work in technology shortly after college, and worked from everybody from Amazon.com to small startups to now Calendly.
I love it. I love it. And as head of product marketing for Calendly, what is your main mission? You and your teams, what do you all do day to day? What does that mean?
So day to day, we have a platform that helps salespeople and recruiters and also yoga instructors to life coaches to you name it, be able to schedule easily external meetings,
Mhm.
right? And so this might be with a customer or a recruit that they're looking to do. And, instead of saying like, hey, does 2 o'clock on Friday work? And the person says, actually, that's 5 o'clock Eastern for me. Or, what about 7 a.m. on Pacific time on Monday? Nope, that's not the right time for me. I'm in Australia. We give you like a little link that you can send out to people, and they click on it, and it gives them access to your calendar, but only stuff you want to show them, right? And so it helps reduce that back and forth. And so that's us at the basic level. We also have all kinds of other features I can talk to you about it today, but we're trying to make meetings better. We're trying to help you love meetings versus something that you might dread, right? And so we have a whole bunch of features that aren't just about scheduling that meeting, but preparing for it, participating in it, and then following up to that meeting.
Yeah, no, and I've seen Calendly definitely grow. Again, you'll know this better than me. We'll get into this now, but I've seen it grow having been a user for years or whatever the time is. But it seemed like there was a jump, adding a lot things like routing. Maybe that's not new for you, it's not, but just my not working for you, just seeing
Right.
the high level view like routing or e-commerce or fancy things for me. But let's get right into it, Jeff.
Yeah.
Talk to people. First of all, can you just give us a few tips on time management? We don't have Calendly, we're in the middle of the ocean with a box of crackers, and we have to be time efficient. What are
Right.
3 or 4 things, Jeff, notwithstanding whatever the technology is, anything that you do in your personal life that we can just be more productive with the what? Wake up at 5 or 6 a.m., do this, do that, kids, family, cereal, exercise, whatever, get to work, and we're spending 10 hours of our lives, many of us knowledge workers doing something, just that. What are some things you're learning to be just more efficient, more productive? Tell us.
For me, I think the biggest enemy is procrastination, right? And so I'm trying to work on personally, not just thinking about the thing,
Mm,
but actually start doing the thing, right? And so when I was younger, what I would do is if I had to write some, essay or something, and
mhm.
occasionally it might be like, you know, a long blog post, I would sit there and think about it and think about it and worry about it and stew on it and so forth. But just taking the act of starting to put something down, whether it's writing or it's creating a slide deck or it's having that tough conversation with somebody, stop procrastinating and just do it,
Mm,
right? And just get out of your head. And I think one of the reasons we procrastinate is we think too much,
yeah.
right? And so living in the moment and just dealing with the moment at hand versus thinking about the past and when you had a bad conversation didn't go well and now you don't want to repeat it, or thinking about the future and worrying about what's going to happen if you write that blog post and someone doesn't like it. Just start doing the thing and then edit from there. So
Mm.
that's probably my number one tip.
I love that. And echoes kind of Seth Godin, the ultimate marketer of father of marketing, as it were, modern day marketers, didn't say it like this. But I think one thing kind of to that point is he's really fast on the email. Like if you're not, people like us, it'll follow up. But like even if it's okay, Jeff, or cool, or good job, that's just a small cousin to that. It's like just do some action on it. So love that, Jeff. Stop procrastinating. I think indeed that will help us a lot of that. So let's jump into Calendly. Maybe talk to that new person. Maybe they
Yeah.
use Calendly. Maybe they hasn't. I don't know if there's a free version or not. Maybe on the free version, maybe they're not. Talk to the new person. What are some things you're like, Ramon? This is just how to start using Calendly, or why we should. I think you've said why we should already, but if you get what I mean, talk to that
Yeah.
newbie. What do you say to them?
When we're thinking about different types of users, we have, we have 20 million users, believe it or
Okay.
not, right?
Congratulations.
But only a fraction of those actually have, become a professional at it,
Okay.
right? And so, and it's a big fraction, right? But it's not the whole 20 million. And so when we're thinking about getting people to become a pro
Mhm.
at Calia, and I recommend this for anybody out there who has a product, think about crawl, people that need to crawl, people
Mhm.
that need to walk, and people that need to run.
Okay.
Okay. And when I'm thinking about people that need to crawl, oftentimes, what I want them to do is just understand the basics of this whole notion of, hey, I'm sick of going back and forth trying to find a time. What if I just not think about all the other features Calendly has and just think about this whole idea of sharing bits of my calendar out via a little URL, a little link, and just emailing it out or texting it out and saying like, hey, let me know some times that work for you. And if you want to, you can click on this link and see my availability in my calendar and how much that would free you up from the back and forth, right? We've done some studies where people will spend like 4 hours a week just trying to schedule a time that they could be spending doing something else, spending time with their family, spending time building their business in another way. And so that's Calendly at the very basics.
I love it. And I think that one thing I'll add to that, not being the expert you are, but as a user, I'll get a little bit of, I think is, and this is you, I'm sure you were going to say this, but adding a little few buckets, because then I guess I can tell Jeff, who I really don't like, I really don't want to talk to him. I can give him 1 hour a month that he can pick. I can give my best friend, he can have, you know, unlimited hours during the day, whatever you get. I mean, unpack what I'm trying to say. And I think that's another way,
Yeah.
right? That then it frees you to really have these buckets and say, oh, it's a new client, a lot of money they have on the line. I'll give them this one. Or it's my buddy from high school. We can talk later. If you get what I'm trying to say, Jeff, talk
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah, so we talked about the crawl, and that's the idea, just the notion of sending out your link, right?
Okay.
The walk is kind of what you're talking about to
Okay.
me, and that is where, all right, now I've got comfortable sending out this link. I don't feel that rude about doing it. It's a totally different way of scheduling time. Feeling better about it. What if I take it to the next level
Okay.
and I don't just say, hey, this is 30-minute blocks of time via Zoom, right? But instead, I'm going to do multiple event types, which are basically templates that
Multiple
say,
event types. Okay.
here's a 30-minute Zoom you can choose from, or if you want to, here's a 45-minute phone call
Mhm.
event type. Or what if we live in the same town? This is just a 15-minute walk and talk, right? And you literally have these blocks of time that we call event types that you can click on and say, okay, I want that 30-minute Zoom call, and click on it and then be able to pick a time to meet. Now, the next level of kind of like the walk is, what if I don't want people to book me more than, twice a day? I don't want anybody. I'm going to send this out to 5 friends. I don't want them to book more than twice a day. I'm going to put a maximum event kind of parameter around this. Or what if I don't want anybody to book me same day, right? It's 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I sent this out. I don't want them booking me at 6. So then I want to be able to say, you can't book me until, say, 2 days from now, right? Or you can't book me more than 10 days in advance. And that's where you start to get into the more advanced kind of level thinking around kind of putting barriers around your time.
And I think you mentioned the word thinking. It is thinking, just based on a little I know. Calendly can do a lot, but I'm guessing, Jeff, that first it's thinking how you want to do it, because it can do that. I like that. It was a little hack right there. Put this link, goes to everybody in the world, but they only get 2 slots. Once they're gone, it probably goes to the next month, the next week. Is that kind of what we're talking about there?
Correct. Correct. And so once those slots are gone, they have to be able to pick maybe from, a couple of weeks from now and what have you. And you can set it up so you say that I want slots all day, every day, or I just want slots maybe Monday through Thursday from 10 until 2 because I want to work out in the morning and I want to go do some paperwork in the afternoon.
Got it. Well, I'm going to cheat here. Can I get some personal advice from you, Jeff, right now? Can I just take advantage
Absolutely.
of the man himself? I mean, so so I cheat a little bit. I have my EA do scheduling and use Calendly for me, and et cetera. But I think there's a better way, probably. I'm probably just not thinking of it. So my schedule, unlike yours, Jeff, you don't have much to do during the day. You just sit around and do nothing. I'm a busy guy, just teasing.
Yeah.
Well, my point is that, so I run into, when I try to do the disciplined things, like I'm like, no, I'm flying on Thursday. So hence it goes back to manual. And maybe
Right.
manual for that is the best, or a hybrid option. Maybe that's best. But is there any way that you can think of without knowing the detail? Like, okay, his schedule may change around here and there that I could still optimize with Calendly, or is that the best route to do halfway?
Yes.
Okay.
So we get a lot of feedback around that where they're like, well, what if I want to be able to, I'm dealing with the CEO, right? I'm selling into a CEO and they don't want to, they don't want to go hunting for a time because I know I'm booked up all this week and I don't want to make them feel like I don't care about them and they have to go look for another time. There's a couple tips. So let's just take the issue of a VIP,
Mhm.
right? And let's say you're also a busy person. One thing you can do is you can create what's called a one-off meeting. So if you go into our app, there's a create button and you can
Mhm.
create those event types I was talking about earlier, which are like these perpetually available
Mhm.
blocks of time. The second thing is this one-off meeting where I can say, you know what? This is a all hands meeting where I'm meeting with my coworkers.
Mhm.
I actually want to book over that thing with a one-off meeting. And I'm going to select a slot over that existing thing and send this out to the CEO. And I also want to book over that, heads down time that I had blocked
Mhm.
out so that he can indeed, or she can indeed meet with
Nice.
me tomorrow when I was booked up. So that's one way to do it. Another thing I do is, you know, when I'm dealing with a VIP, sometimes I will just give them the royal old school treatment
Sure.
where I might say like, "Hey, let me know sometimes. I know you're busy, CEO. Let me know sometimes when you're available. And if you want, if it's easier, you can click on my Calendly link or you can share me, yours because
Mhm.
many CEOs have Calendly."
Yeah. I love that you said that. And I was going to ask you that. I was going to say, hey, Jeff, let's get into politics. I use that word. You see the color drain people's face. Oh my God. He promised me this would not be. And then I have some fun. But I was going to ask the same question. And you said it, Jeff. That's exactly what I tell everybody. I think that I, I want to meet President Biden or President Obama, President Trump. Take your pick. I want to meet them. They say yes. Oh, I want to send them a scheduling link, but I like that you gave us the freedom. I think that's the right word. Hey, listen, tell me when's available. Thank you. Or if you wish, here's my link. And I think that's the perfect way to do it for the people that we need something from, right? It's not,
Yeah.
how am I going to give Jeff my link and I need him, if that makes sense?
Yeah, and we have actually, if anybody wants to Google it, just Google Calendly etiquette, and you'll find like a blog post and an ebook
Okay.
all about this. But one of the things we try to do is we recommend opening the doors for others first. Be
Ooh.
polite and just say like, "Hey, open the door. Let me know when you're available." Very important person.
Mhm.
And if you want, you know, here's my availability, and that's you coming in behind them once they walk through the door first.
I love that, opening doors for others first. I think that is important, and that shows, Jeff. I think that Calendly is just, in a respectful way, a tool. You still, me and Jeff are talking. You and I connected via LinkedIn. I mean, you still got to be nice to people and add value and sound credible and whatever it is, right? I mean, the tool's just a tool.
Exactly.
Um, is there anything, Jeff, that surprises you? Meaning, can you talk about those 1% of the 1% of ninjas that you're like, Ramon, they're using Calendly in a way that I can't even imagine. Wow, we fly and see them for help. Is there any
Yeah.
story or anybody who's like up the wazoo, like it's crazy how they're using it?
So, a lot of our customers kind of pulled us into this use case, and I'll explain it to you. Let's imagine you're a salesperson, and it's 10 p.m. at night. You've been up all day. Your kids were up early, and you went to sleep early at about 9:30. But you have a customer who's a night owl,
Mhm.
and they are on your website and they're reading about everything. It's 10 p.m. at night. And they're like, oh, okay, how do I talk to sales? And they go and there's this demo request form. And they're like, oh man, I'm going to fill this thing out. And I'm not going to hear back. Probably it's Friday. Not going to hear back until like Monday
Mhm.
after they look at their emails. And then by then I'm going to be over it. What if you could schedule a time and click on the page and be able to find a schedule for all the salespeople at that company? And it's 10 p.m. at night, and you're like, I'm going to book a time for, let's see, Monday at 10 a.m. It looks like the person's available. And then I'm going to go back to doing what I'm doing. And I was able to book that time instead of waiting for them to get back to me. And that's a feature called routing, which you were talking about. And what it allows you to do is, as a business owner or as a salesperson, book meetings in your sleep, which is easier on you. So you just wake up to these meetings. You don't have to reply to any emails. And it gives your customer an opportunity to be able to book time with you when they're feeling it. Not when they're over it on Monday when you get back to them and they're like, it took you this long, right when they're feeling it.
I love it. And so to clarify, that is for those who have teams, right? Like two or three people that you can say she's not available, but he's available, or like that. You can kind of group it together. Is that
Correct.
right?
Correct.
Got it. Got it. That is
Now,
powerful.
in terms of solopreneurs, people that are doing this by themselves, some tips that I recommend are this. One of my favorite features, it's a paid feature, but it's called workflows. And
Mhm.
what workflows basically are reminders you send out to yourself or to others before a meeting, as well as follow-ups. Like, thanks for meeting. Here's a case study, or thanks for meeting. Here's a video about our feature. One of my favorite workflows is a reconfirmation workflow. And the reason I love this one is there's been times in my life where people have been like, hey, can I pick your brain? Or let's meet. And it's somebody in town and they want to meet for lunch. And I'm starting to walk 30 minutes across town to go to the place. And then they go, oh, shoot, something came up.
I've been
I'm
there.
like, I was doing you a favor meeting,
Exactly.
right? We have this feature called read confirmations where it'll automatically send out a workflow like an hour before the meeting or 2 hours of the day before and say, please reconfirm, push this button and reconfirm it. And then that way they have to be like, oh, shoot, forgot about that meeting. I can't make it. I'm not going to reconfirm it. Or, oh, yeah, I'm coming. Reconfirm. And it sends a signal to me that this person means business. They're going to be there. That has reduced no-shows for me a 100%, which was an issue that I used to deal with and used to shake my fist at the sky, and it's gone.
I love that. And you're right about that. It was just a guy I'm on. Have you heard of the tool called Clubhouse, audio only app?
Yes.
Okay, it's still around,
Yeah.
by the way. Those like
It's still
Ramon,
around.
it's still there, and I'm there every Friday at 8 a.m. So you can check out the Scott Simon Show, a friend of mine who I host a show with. But I say that because I'll get emails from Ramon. Are you still there? I'm like, yeah, I'm still there. Point being, though, a guy is a personal branding person. He always says, when you schedule the call with me, could you please show up? Because I bet he has a certain percentage of no shows. But I like that confirmation, and I believe you all have some texting abilities too, so you can confirm in different ways. I believe as well.
Exactly. It can go out via email. It can go out via SMS texting, you name it.
Yeah. When you think, Jeff, about the world of integration, any thoughts on that? Again, there's a lot of it's amazing as we get more mature in software. The people who were your friends, so my Calendly's friends or partners, now they're adding tools that compete with you. The people who had that, their tools don't work so well, so we're still using Calendly. Then, of course, there's the famous Zapier, right, which many of us use to connect things. Just talk about it. And again, I don't have a direct question, but maybe I think it's the beauty of integration. And I believe you all have many integrations built in. That's probably part of the bedrock of
Yes.
Calendly, that it integrates easily with other tools natively, I think is the word. And then I think you
Yes.
can even hire or get like a programmer that can do some cool things as well. Can you talk about that a bit?
Man, Ramon, you know more than most people that interview me. Talking about APIs and programming and all of it.
Yes, sir.
So I think one of so I've worked for a number of startups, through my career, and I have found that a lot of startups are resistant to building integrations.
Mm,
The reason is they have to basically build this integration with somebody else's product that
right.
they might not like working with.
Hmm.
And it's rickety, the little connection, which we call application programming interfaces or APIs.
Hmm.
And they don't want to have to maintain it because they have to maintain it every couple months. And so a lot of startups will skip integrations and then you get frustrated. You're like, this thing doesn't integrate with my customer relationship management tool, doesn't integrate with my email tool, my calendar. So we've invested a lot in making sure that we fit with what we call your software stack or all the software you use in your business. And so we have not only dozens of integrations like with Google Calendar, with Outlook Calendar, with Zoom, WebEx, you name it, but also we have what was called that API where a software developer can say, hey, we work for Loom or we work
Hmm.
for Zapier or what have you, and we want to be able to build an integration with Calendly. And we love that. We love it when people build integrations for us. And so that's helped us kind of expand our ecosystem of offerings we can offer customers.
Which means, I guess, I don't even have a question here, but just chatting about it, which means you all could be, you already are a platform. There's some developer out there who has a cool idea. Anything dealing with a calendar, they don't have to build it. They can just have you there and do their Lego block to calendar to making coffee, but you're in between. Is that about right? How that kind of
That's
works?
correct. Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Very nice. Jeff, moving, anything else on Calendly that I didn't ask you? I'm sure there's a lot, but people can find out for themselves because I want to get back to productivity and working a bit here. But anything else on Calendly, like Ramon? Wait. I want to tell you this. Anything on Calendly that we should know and or that you can say that's coming out? I know you can't pre-announce stuff, but anything that, hey, Ramon, I can let y'all in on this, whatever. Anything else?
I would say, we have this mission to help you love meetings. And in
Mm,
order to do that, we have to help you have better meetings. And if you think about it, there's kind of like a number of activities you do to have a meeting, right? You got to schedule the thing. That's kind of the front door to good meetings. Then you got to prepare for it, right? And so, things like writing an agenda or sending out a pre-read that someone can read before they get to the meeting, to think about what you're talking about. Then you need to be able to participate in the meeting, and maybe you want to do it hands off
Mhm.
and not have to like do things within the meeting, like take notes and so forth, right? And then you want to be able to follow up from the meetings. And so we really care about what we call the meeting life cycle of scheduling, preparing, participating, following up, not just the scheduling part. And so I think you'll see in the coming months and years us either building our own features to help you prepare, participate, or follow up, or integrating with other tools that are out there that help with that.
I like that because you're right. I mean, and again, the world's getting kind of weird. With we're using Zoom platform. You all are the kings of the calendar. So, but I think I like that. You're right. The meeting follow up. What was that life? What was the thing you said? The
It's
meeting
uh it's all part of the meeting life cycle,
meeting life.
internal jargon for schedule the meeting, prepare for it, participate in it, and follow up.
I think that's powerful. No, Jeff, thank you for that. Definitely for that. One or two more things, Jeff, on my mind, and then if I didn't ask you anything, feel free. But thank you for your time today. Is just that when you think about just productivity, you mentioned a few things already. Stop procrastinating. But any more thoughts on that? Just that business owner, that entrepreneur, and even that corporate professional like yourself, we're just busy, Jeff. And I
Yep.
was joking with somebody, even now the bots are talking to the bots. The bots are taking notes and the other bots summarizing it. We're up the meeting wazoo, our emails overloaded. Just any thoughts on that? Again, it's an open-ended question. What are you seeing? What do your team at Calendly do? Or what have you read? Anything that comes to mind just on this world we're in of hyper busyness?
Yeah. So for me, tools come and go, but you have to be in the right mindset. And I think
Mhm.
there's a lot of talk about this, and one of those things is I have learned the power of getting enough sleep, exercising, so I'm in the right mind frame and I'm
Mm,
blowing off steam, right? As well as, listening and not just like responding right away.
mm.
So really getting myself in the right mindset. And I think a lot of other people at Calendly are feeling this way, so that whatever you're doing it quickly, you're doing it with a lot of energy, you're working with people with a lot of energy. And so that's something that I really recommend, is that get enough sleep, exercise, eat right, and like listen, right?
I love it.
Another thing from a tools perspective, that everybody is talking about right now is obviously artificial intelligence, or
Mhm.
AI.
Mm.
And just, really look for ways to not be afraid of AI, but test different tools that work for you so that you don't have to do things manually anymore. For example, let's say I like to write. I went to college for writing, and so
Okay.
I like it, right? And so I'm not always turning to AI, but if I feel stuck, like let's say I did a customer interview
Mhm.
and I want to summarize it really quickly instead of like looking back through my notes, I can use AI like ChatGPT to quickly do a first pass, right? A rough draft. And then I can go back in and give it the Jeff spin, right? And use my own words, remove words like elevate, and instead say like, use or something like that, right? And so I recommend trying to find ways to use AI to kind of do the rough drafts of things in your life. And then you can give it that personal touch later.
I love it. Well, Jeff, since you love to, and thank you for that tip. Since you love to write, I've never made this offer before, and I know it's at hour here to a senior executive before. Do you want to come and work for zoneofgenius.com? I'll give you $20 an article, one article a week. You leave Calendly right now from all these people resign. Come and work for me. I mean, you could work right where you are. You won't make much. You don't have to sell your home. I'm just teasing.
And I'll be just doing it all with ChatGPT. I'll just be like, hey, here's your
Exactly.
article, Ramon.
Exactly. But Jeff Hardison, I want to give you back your time and make sure we can have another talk today. I appreciate you being with the zoneofgenius.com community. Thanks for being here on the Rundown with Ramon, and I appreciate you so much.